Hi, everybody. Pastor Deb here. You can see I'm out in the urban sanctuary. It wasn't supposed to rain today, but it looks like it might now, so I'm under the gazebo for a little bit. I want to talk today about trying new foods. Do you like to try new foods? When I was a kid, I didn't much like it, although I don't know many kids who do like to try new foods. But I had my dad tell a story about this guy who had always had hamburgers all his life, and he was working for a construction company. And at the time of his retirement, they threw him a huge dinner, for his retirement, and gave him gifts and everything. And for the dinner, he wanted hamburgers, and his wife said, "Absolutely not. It's either you have to choose. It's either going to be lobster or steak, or you could put them together as surf and turf if you want." He said, "No, I want hamburger." And she said, "You are not getting hamburger on this important event." And she prevailed. He decided to get the surf and turf. Was sure he wasn't going to like the lobster. Steak, he'd never had a steak. He only ever had hamburgers. That's all he knew. He liked them when he was little. He carried it through his whole life of just ordering hamburgers because he knew he liked them. Well, don't you know, he loved both the steak and the lobster. And he felt so sad that he could have tried them years ago and hadn't. He just had stayed with what he knew he liked. And he'd missed out on surf and turf all these years. To a little kid, that really made a big impression. But I think it's true for many of us. We find what we like and we don't want to try anything else. And when I was little, grade school and traveling with my parents, my mother would always get something pretty predictable, I guess is a good word. No matter what part of the country we were in, she would find something that she knew predictably would be good. My dad, on the other hand, would go into a place and he'd say to the server, "What are you most known for?" And they'd say, "Well, whatever it was." And he'd say, "Bring me some of that. I want to try what you are most known for." I don't always have the courage to do that because meals sometimes can cost a lot of money, but I always admired him, and he tried some things most things were wonderful. A couple he really didn't like, but you can always order a hamburger or something afterwards. So I've been trying some new foods lately, and I don't care for really hot, spicy things. Although I think my palate temperature is increasing a little the older I get. But still, trying new flavors and new combinations and new textures, that's important to me. Then I got to thinking about our spiritual food. You knew I was going there, didn't you? Our spiritual food. Are we willing to try new things? Or are we just hanging in there with what we already know? If we pick up a Bible, do we always read the same verses? If we are in trouble or we have a certain prayer that comforts us, is that the only one we pray? Take it a step farther. Are we still thinking of Jesus or God or Spirit the way we did when we went to Sunday school and probably quit in 6th grade? Are we willing to try new spiritual food? Which would make sense that we should, because as we age, our tastes change and our needs change, and what we need spiritually from our spiritual food would also change. So what would it mean to change your spiritual food? I don't know, because I don't know what you eat to begin with. But if you are a Bible reader, try reading a different version. If you are not a Bible reader, try reading the Bible. Maybe that's too hard to do, so maybe you want to buy one of those calendars, 365 verses, so you get a verse a day or something to read like that. Maybe you want to join a website. There are a lot of free ones that will send you a verse every day. Maybe you read the Bible, but you don't pray a lot. Well, maybe you try to pray. Well, or maybe you always pray by starting off, Dear God. Well, maybe you'd like to vary the diet a little bit and try praying, Dear Jesus or Dear Spirit. Maybe you are not used to praying out loud. You only read someone else's prayers. So maybe you try saying your own prayers and speaking them out loud to the universe. Or maybe you're used to only speaking prayers and you might want to start reading some sermons or prayers. Whatever it is, I think we need to try new food, new spiritual food. It will sharpen our tastes. It will increase our repertoire for what works and what doesn't. And it will just help us to become more aware of who we are in relationship to God. So the message for today is try some new spiritual food. Try it for, maybe a week. Or not, maybe for just a day. Try something new and something different. You can always go back to what you liked. That guy could always go back to hamburgers. But suddenly he liked steak and lobster as well. So he's like tripled his menu, his food menu. Maybe we should be doing that with our spiritual food menu as well. Thanks for joining me for this prayerful pause with the pastor, and I'm Pastor Deb Swift of South Presbyterian Church in Rochester, New York. It's great to see you here. I hope that you are feasting on the Spirit. Looking forward to seeing you next time, and until then, God bless. Try some new spiritual food. We'll see you next time, and bye for now.